Hey everybody, I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold. This is at least 5 minutes with Ben, more like 10. And I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold, which I already said, but I went off script, so I'm ad-libbing. And I'm Ben. Anyway, we're going to look at a game that was played 8 years ago. And the reason we're looking at it is because I get asked approximately once per stream, have you ever played Magnus Carlsen? Or who's the best player you've ever played? And, Magnus is pretty good. Anyway, I played Magnus when he was the world champion in the Pro Chess League on the internet in the final match between Norway and St. Louis, and our team beat his team, although Magnus won all of his games. His teammates didn't do so well. Okay, so we're going to look at the whole game. So this will be more like 10 minutes, but it'll be like 5 minutes with Ben. What else? Okay, I was black, and he played a London, played symmetrical. Then this position, since it was the final of the Pro Chess League in 2017, there was live commentary, and unfortunately, one of the commentators was Danny Wrench. So for some reason, Danny likes to insert himself into analysis sessions, live commentary of games that he's not able to do commentary on because he's not a world-class player. So instead of chess.com hiring a world-class player to do commentary, they hire Danny Wrench. So I guess they save money that way. Anyway, so Danny got all excited here because I played Bishop Takes Knight, which is arguably not the best move, but it's okay. And the idea behind Bishop Takes Knight is we're going to play Bishop b4 check, and Magnus can't block with the knight because he doesn't have a knight, and he'll be forced to move his king, which made Danny Wrench go insane, even though it's just theory. But he already thought Magnus had blundered because Danny's understanding of chess isn't so good. Okay, so Magnus took with the queen. I'm familiar with rook takes, bishop b4 check, king e2, but Magnus thought a while here and decided queen takes was better, and then after check put the king on d1. Obviously and frankly, you don't want to play knight d2 because of knight e4, and then Danny can go crazy. Okay, so king d1, and this is a better way for white to play than taking with the rook and king e2, because the king doesn't really want to be on e2. It wants bishop can go out, and at some point, white's going to play bishop d3, king e2, rook d1, and white's going to claim to have an advantage because white has the two bishops. Okay, now, since white has the two bishops, and my bishop can easily get trapped here, c5, a3, b4, I decided to play bishop d6 to get rid of his two bishops. And also my bishop is sort of silly on b4, not really doing anything except getting ready to be attacked. But Magnus didn't want to trade the two bishops, played bishop g5. Okay, now I made my first mistake of the game. I said, well, Magnus's king is on d1, so we should punish that. We shouldn't just play solid and boring, and then his king gets to get safe. But the correct way to play for black is solid and boring and let his king get safe. And white's slightly better. Anyway, I played c5. This is not good for my pawn structure. He took on d5. I can't take with the knight because my knight's pinned. I took with the pawn. Then he checked me, completing development. Knight c6. Now he ruined my pawn structure by giving me an isolated pawn on d5. And then he won material by playing bishop takes, check, pawn takes, queen c2, and he has a skewer. And unfortunately, if I defend my bishop with various moves, queen e7, queen d6, queen b6, queen a5, with the idea that he can't take my pawn because my bishop's still there, well, then he simply plays rook c1, or in some instances, he would take my knight first and ruin my pawn structure, unless I play queen e7, although I guess he could still do that. For example, queen d6, bishop takes f6. I can't take with the queen because my bishop's hanging, so I have to take with the pawn. Then he plays rook c1. I have to save my bishop. And then this ending is very lost because I'm down a pawn and I have the world's worst pawn structure. Okay, so c5 was quite a bad move in the opening. And after queen c2, I played bishop e7. He took my pawn. I played king f8. And probably my king is worse than his now, and I'm down a pawn. Magnus had good technique, shocking. Played rook c1, dominating the open file. I kicked his bishop. He traded and played king e2. And he's going to play rook d1 and so forth. Then I can't save my d-pawn. I don't want to be down 2 pawns. So I took one of my pawns back. Bishop takes b2. Now it's equal material. And unfortunately, after rook c2, and I save my bishop, plays rook d1, and I can't save this pawn. And his king is perfectly safe. It's perfectly safe on e2. And my rook on h8 can't get out because my king's on f8. Okay, I played queen e8. I figured if my king is going to be bad and my rook on h8 is going to be bad, I might as well trade queens and escape to a pawn down endgame, which maybe I have chances to draw. He took, we traded, I played king e7 so I could get my rook out, rook c7 check, king e6, and rook c d7. And now my king is in a mating net, which wasn't really what I was hoping for when I traded queens, that my king would get mated. And I can't trade all the rooks. Let's say I play rook d8, because he plays knight d4 check, and I only have one legal move, and then he takes my rook and lose the exchange. Okay, so I played rook h to b8. I'm going to play rook b6 and stop any checks on d6, or I'm going to play rook b2 check and get my pawn back. Either way, I'm activating my rook from h8. Okay, now, some of you probably think rook here or rook here is checkmate, but that's not correct, because if this rook, king e7, and if this rook, king f5. Well, he stopped king f5 by playing e4. So now he's threatening rook on 5 to d6 checkmate. So I checked him because I want to activate my rook. He moved his king. Now I don't have any checks. Notice he went to a white square, so my bishop can't check him. Okay, now he's threatening rook on 5 to d6 checkmate. So I played rook to b6. And unfortunately for me, the game ends immediately because he plays e5, and he's got 2 checkmates, 1 for each of me. So he's threatening my bishop, which is relatively obvious. However, he has a better threat. He's threatening knight d4 checkmate. So I can stop pawn takes bishop. I can stop knight d4 checkmate. However, stopping them both is not easy. I could stop them both by giving my bishop away. That stops them both. Then I'm down a bishop for no pawns. So after e5, since I'm going to lose my bishop in an effort to stop knight d4 mate, I resigned. And king f5 also stops mate, but again, he takes my bishop with check. Down a knight. So that was the one game I've played Magnus. We played on the internet in the Pro Chess League, and that was a rapid game. Both sides had 15 minutes. If I remember correctly, which I don't, there was a 10-second increment. And so I lost in 26 moves, and I didn't put up a good fight. On move 8, I played c5, which was quite a bad move. And after c5, I think I'm lost. I think that I have a losing position after c5. Not that I put up a good fight, but the position looks like white's much better, not white's checkmating me, but that's, truth hurts. Anyway, I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold. That was 5 minutes with Ben. That was only game I've ever played a reigning world champion. Luckily, our team still won, even though I got crushed. I'll see you guys next time with more 5 minutes with Ben. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Bye.